every single year it's like, oh, Jokic had like one of the best offensive years ever. Oh, he's having another one of the best offensive seasons ever. Oh, this year is actually his best season ever. Like it's just like never ending with this guy.
Another guy that's had back-to-back seasons of being better than he was the season before is Giannis. But for some reason, we completely, it's like he's not even factored in our imagination in the MVP talk.
Like, I think one thing you can kind of blame the NBA is like they haven't put enough emphasis on these new players and like advertising these new players, and I think they've started to do that. But like two of the downsides is like LeBron, KD, Steph, all these guys are still so good, and obviously they have like all the fans since they've been playing for so long and all that. Like you can't ignore them. You can't just move on to the new guys because you still got some of the like multiple top 15 players of all time still playing in your league.
A lot of the NBA players now, just because of social media and everything, they don't want to get embarrassed. They don't want to look like fools. Do you remember the New York guy Sims?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
The
god!
dunk and the dunk contest, bro.
That's
It
what
sucks.
that's what I'm about to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about. I think you need to outsource the dunk contest.
Hmm.
Bring the best dunkers in America.
Like you said, some of these players they just don't got it like that in terms of entertaining dunks. Like that Jalen Brown one, like you mentioned, I completely forgot about that one, but it was so funny.
Bro,
I forgot.
to me, you know what? I was annoyed in the moment. I found, now I'm laughing about it. But in the moment, I was like, there's no way. Did he sit Kai Cenat down on the chair, if I remember?
Yeah, Kai Cenat
Yes.
was sitting down and he
Yes.
jumped over him.
Yes.
And it's like
Cenat
people
is not-
jumped over Shaq while he's standing up, and you're jumping over Kai Cenat.
Hello and welcome to another episode with your favorite duo, Sam and Elias. This is Pushing the Pace podcast. It's been a weird week in the NBA. I would say like there's some fun times, but I wouldn't say like the whole week has really been fun. I saw the. Did you see the Friday slate, Elias?
Friday's slate was like 3 games just for no reason. It was very weird. But the one Cavs and Sixers games was very close throughout. Um, and I believe the Cavs pulled it out, I think at the end. I actually don't even remember.
The Sixers won.
The Sixers won, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but anyway, how are you doing, my guy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, like you said, there's not been much since last week in the NBA in terms of news. No trades. The rival week has been kind of whatever, you know. It hasn't been like super super crazy any of these games, but you know, it's just regular NBA basketball.
It's honestly maybe it says a bad thing for me. Probably I didn't know it was Rivals Week till today. I don't think the NBA actually put like maybe I was just not paying attention and all, but obviously when I think about it and look back on it now, the games that were being played were against rivals, like teams that have some sort of and I didn't but it didn't just peek in my head. Like there was really no attention to that, so I didn't even pick that up until today when I saw the games and stuff. And I was like, oh, then I was on ESPN and I saw, oh, NBA's Rivals Week ends on this note, and I'm like, oh, this is Rivals Week, and I didn't even it just didn't come to mind. That's something that I thought about.
Yeah, literally,
Um,
because we recorded last Sunday, and you were like, games are you excited for this week?" And I was looking, I'm like, "Yeah, some of these games are cool," but it didn't really stand out as like a rivals week.
exactly.
Like I only knew because I saw an Instagram post that they posted, or maybe it was on Twitter or something. And but like some of these like rivalry games, like unfortunately the NBA just doesn't really have real rivalries like that. Like other than like Celtics Lakers,
Yeah.
more recent ones like Cav and Warriors, but that was just like LeBron Steph. Like it's a player centric league, and these team rivalries, um, I mean it's good to try and push them so we can like, you know, get some hype between these games, and obviously when the playoffs come, that's a different question, but like to have a real rivalry between teams, I think you got to meet in the playoffs like a couple times in a short amount of time to really like get that hatred between each other. You know,
I
like
think right now you almost have that with the Mavs and OKC because
I
now
was
it's like
just about to say
it
that.
it almost feels like we've played it. I swear to God, now it feels as a Mavs fan, it feels like we play these guys every 2 weeks. Like it's just like there's like it's just this constant animosity and all. When Mavs won in the playoffs, I don't know if you knew, they played last time I checked. Sorry, the song the Mavs played after they won against OKC was last time I checked, right? Then the first meeting between OKC and Mavs, which Mavs won, the Mavs played last time I checked again in the locker room, like blasting loud. OKC would win in the NBA Cup and we'll play that song. And back to back now, when Mavs have won, they've done that. So like there's that animosity, like there's drawing, there's like you could see Kyrie having a talk with Caruso because OKC players are always pushing our guys. PJ Washington is did you see the screenshot of Mayor of OKC?
Uh, I
They put
don't
this.
think
This was
so.
on an ESPN broadcast
Uh
where they
huh.
put PJ, and I think it's against the game against the Celtics, and they put the whole stuff there, and they put the mayor of OKC because he's always just going crazy against OKC for some reason.
Yeah, I've seen those stats. I was like comparing his stats since he's been on the Mavs, like every
Yeah,
team, and then just OKC. And with OKC, he's like 4 points per game more, like shooting way more efficiently. Obviously, in the playoffs, he was going crazy from
crazy.
three. And in that game against OKC, he almost had a 20-20 game, which was just
20,
so
29, 20 and 19.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is like so random, but like good for him. I don't know. I also saw another screenshot that was like the last couple Mavs games, and it was like loss, loss, OKC win,
OKC
loss,
win.
loss, OKC
OKC
win,
win.
and it's like
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I guess why not?
Yeah, so yeah, no, you're right. There's really no too many rivalries, and I think that's probably one of the biggest issues we have when a lot of people are talking about the shooting of threes. People are talking about TV ratings, which I find tiring and annoying to talk about. Uh, I think the lack of rivalry, like major rivalries, and those is just not there and stuff. And there are a lot of things that we can touch about. Like I know we're going to still have this conversation another time, I'm still rationalizing all my arguments, but I found a lot of stupid stock on the fact that the NBA TV ratings, television ratings in the whole world in every sector is down. It's just not some NBA thing. Like no one watches TV. Like no one watches TV. I've seen my mom, who I grew up watching, see her watching TV, opening YouTube. I've seen her opening net. Like this, people are not watching cable TV again and stuff. So it's just. But I do agree. I think one of the biggest things that we don't have is that rivalry and those teams that you turn on and you want to look ahead for and stuff like that. Um. So on Wednesday, let me start from there. On Wednesday, the Jazz will play Thunder, right? Would play OKC, and Shea had 54 points, and I was like, man, just give him his MVP, blah 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 blah. But again, stupid me. We forgot the best player in the world just drops video game numbers. So after she had 54 points, I'm like, hey man, like I love Jokic, and I think he's still an MVP candidate and should definitely even be looking at the fact that he could win his fourth MVP. But when she had that game, I was like, hey man, this shit may just like it just might be over, you know? But obviously it's too early to say that. I didn't mean it that way. Then on Friday, let me where's the stats? Where are the no on Thursday, sorry. The Nuggets will play against the Kings. Jokic will have 35 points, 22 rebounds, and 17 assists, one turnover. 17 assists, one turnover. And
That's nuts.
you just look at this dude and you're just like, this has been since 2018, it's been domination, like dominating the stat sheet, dominating players. And it doesn't mean the Nuggets have won every single time because they have one championship. But as a 2018, I remember saying, this is a top three player in the world. I was so early, and people were like, there was this lot of Jokic hate in the league. Like, he's slow, he's this, he's not athletic, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole European thing that they don't want to admit if these players are amazing. And I was like, this dude is top three in the world in 2018. And by 2020, 2021, it was clear that this is the best player in the world and stuff. And Giannis and him Giannis is him as I would say Giannis is still very, very close to him. But again, I can still clearly see Jokic is just the best in the world and stuff. And I think people after the last game started asking, like, when we look at his all-time rankings, it's going to be crazy where we put him. And I wanted to ask you, I wanted to talk about that. At like the rate he's going, like where does he end up?
I think top 10 is definitely not out of the question. I think it's almost like when you think about like who's in the top 10, obviously LeBron, Kareem, Jordan, then we get to Kobe, Shaq, Bird, Magic, Duncan, and all that, Curry. And then on the outskirts, like, Hakeem, KD, players like that. I mean, this is a guy, three-time MVP, very possible to get four-time MVP, if not this season. I would not be surprised if he like gets another one or maybe two even. Like I think the Jokic conversation is so funny because like I remember like in 2020 when he was like really like popping off and all that. He was like, "This is like one of the best offensive seasons of all time." He's doing this with like such a depleted roster and whatnot, and then every single year it's like, "Oh, Jokic had like one of the best offensive years ever. Oh, he's having another one of the best offensive seasons ever. Oh, this year is actually his best season ever." Like it's just like never ending with this guy. Like this season, averaging, I think this is slightly went down after today's game, but 30 points per game, which is basically third around with Shai and Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
13 rebounds a game, which is third. 10 assists, which is second. Um, 47% from three, and then 56% from the field. 81% from the field from free throw line. I mean, this is a guy who you could put him and four NBA players in history on the floor with him, and he will help and be a positive contribution to his team. Like, um,
He's averaging a triple double.
yeah, he's a very easy 30-point triple double, and we've become so numb to it. And like all these stats and whatnot, I think we can say that we've kind of become a little bit numb to like how good these players are.
But
But
the reason why I'm not going to be numb to his 30 points is as a 2018, 2019, I remember Paul Millsap, who was on the Denver Nuggets at that time, right? I believe except I'm missing the year, but he was in Denver Nuggets for 2, 3 seasons. And you will have certain games where Jokic was always, he just wants to pass. He would take 6 shots in a game. He just wants to pass. He just wants to. And Paul Millsap was like, bro, you are a best player. Go kill. Go do what you need to do. And I think we don't talk about the fact he's a 30-point scorer now, and it's easy. I'm sorry, his 30 points are easy,
I mean that half court heave he had in the other game.
bro.
That's not an easy
Bro,
shot. Um, but no, I get what you mean. Like he for a long time it was that he was a bit more passive. I remember at the beginning of the season he would always come in a little bit out of shape, not play as like well, and then he would kind of get himself into shape as the season has gone on. But like ever since I don't even remember exactly what year, but
I think the
2019,
bubble
2020, yeah, the
after the
bubble.
bubble,
Since then, it's just been like nonstop, like MVP level play from him, and he doesn't get injured. He doesn't have like horrendous games where he really like he obviously everybody has bad games, but he still for the most part is positive in most games that he plays in.
yes sir,
And yeah, the 30 points is ridiculous. Like just this last week, like you said, 35, 22, and 17.
17 assists and
Yeah, one
one turnover.
turnover.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. The reason why the one turnover is very important is Jokic doesn't do some easy pick and roll. Like he does every array of passes, one-handed touch pass, over his head, over like like in every single game. Like I've said it, the only person that touches him as a passer in this league now is Luker. That's the only person. That is the only person in this league that touches him in passing. Like LeBron, I saw LeBron, I was like, man, this is one of the greatest players. He's a better passer than LeBron. He's a better
Yeah,
passer than
I
LeBron.
think that's fair.
I think
I
like
think. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely argue that like longevity with LeBron, how
Okay,
long he's played, and like he's been an amazing playmaker since he's come into the league.
yeah,
But no, Jokic definitely, he's obviously the best passing center of all time, easily. I think it's fair to say he's a top five in terms of playmaker all time. Like
and
him,
he
LeBron, Magic, probably. Um, Maybe like Nash too. You could put up there
and he's the
perhaps
greatest draft pick in NBA history. He
in
was the
terms of where he
fourth.
was
He
chosen.
was the 44th. He was the fourth. Like,
Yeah,
and you guys, I don't know if you remember, they didn't show him on the
yeah.
stanchion.
They mentioned that all the time now that he was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial,
Yeah,
like all the time. And it's like it's a very cool thing
it,
for people that don't know, but like yeah, I'm kind of like okay, I have heard it before, but no, it's still pretty incredible
bro.
for people who have not heard about that because yeah, he was basically like kind of an unknown. I saw one clip. It was I think it was Blake Griffin or some other NBA player. It was like during a summer session and it was Jokic getting dunked on
It's
by him
cat.
or something like that. It
It's
was
cat.
Cat. Okay, it was
It
Cat.
was like
Right, right,
I
right.
think it was an AAU stuff. It wasn't
It
even NBA basketball. It wasn't the summer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was like, and
Yeah,
it
it was
was
a summer thing.
yeah. It was like an AAU stuff, and you could just see this skinny white European dude, and he gets dunked on and stuff. And and
Yeah.
you know what's so funny about that video? He does that thing when Jokic gets scored on at the rim, he quickly takes the ball inbound.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's so funny when I mean I would do it too. Like if I get dunked on, I'm not pushing the pace. We're pushing the pace down the field. Where we don't want to linger on this moment. We want to let's forget about it.
No,
Nah, but the Nuggets overall have been really good. I mean, their offense, third in points per game, first in field goal, third in 3% 3-point percentage, first in assists, and in their last 11 games, they've won 8. They
eight.
just lost today to Minnesota, which was kind of a rough game. They lost to Houston, they lost to Boston, but they beat a whole bunch of other teams. This game today was also very interesting because Jokic only had 3 rebounds, and Mr. Rudy Gobert had 14,
Hmm.
which I think, and I just like I watched on and off that game. I wasn't completely locked in, but it felt like the Nuggets defense against like a Gobert with 14 points was pretty decent from him.
Yeah.
And then even Randall, like 21, 7, and 7, like he got down there in the paint and created some shots from other people. And yeah, I think that was a good game for the Wolves. And like, they're basically built to beat the Nuggets.
And
But yeah,
that's it, right? I would say all our greats have flaws. All our greats have flaws, and I think that's just that paint is sweet. When Jokic is there, that paint because he one I think there's an understanding from him where he knows he doesn't have the leaping ability, so he doesn't want to foul and put himself in every trouble where he's off the floor. And people need to think about that. That's for so many years, the numbers when Jokic is off the floor is is one of the worst in NBA history in terms of like plus and minus for players, for a team, sorry, right? So there's that understand. I think there's that understanding for me, and I know when everyone, it's a fair criticism, right? The paint is sweet against everyone once Jokic is there, but again, we need to have the context of it. Of one, man, I'm not athletic enough to jump with his goods. Like that's just not him, and he rather not put himself in foul trouble than risk getting stupid fouls and being out of the game, and the Nuggets are not who they are. The one thing I would say is I didn't watch the game, so I didn't watch the game. I was out the house. The one thing I say is I follow Adam Mares who covers the Nuggets and stuff, and he was talking about like the physicality, like how Minnesota is very physical against Denver, and they have to match that, blah blah blah. And obviously, it shows with that rebounding numbers of Jokic just having 3 rebounds. Like that's he can have that dude has 8 in first quarters. Like that's like a clear indication. I would say though it's a bad indicator. Obviously, games can happen, things can happen. So I didn't see the game, so I have no full context of what happened and stuff. But I've watched outside of my favorite teams, the Bucks, the Mavs, Nuggets are one of the teams I watch. I don't think there's any other team I've watched more than the Wolves. and for the Wolves to blow you out is a problem because the Wolves don't blow people. The Wolves can't blow people out.
They
Like
don't score enough to do
they
that.
don't
Yeah,
score enough, right? So
yeah,
that is problematic. That is like I think there was like 8 Wolves in double digits. Come on, bro. You can't. Let me
yeah.
go look at
One,
it.
two, three, four, five, six, seven, seven, and then Mike Conley had 9 points.
Exactly.
So
So seven,
pretty
seven,
close.
it's pretty close. So like, that is. I didn't watch the game again, as I said, but that is like a bad indicator for me where I'm like, hey, if I've seen this team play a lot. Sorry, my camera. I've seen this team play a lot, and I'm like, it's just a bad indicator when you guys are letting this guy score 140 points on you, pretty much. Like,
Yeah, literally.
then the Wolves don't score 140 points on anyone. Like, that is not this team. Like, they are not that good. And so, them getting their game off you guys is a problem and stuff. So, there's definitely stuff to work on the Nuggets as much as they've been good.
Yeah, definitely. But then going back to like the Jokic all-time conversation, I will
Yeah.
say for his defense, like his defense was definitely a lot worse a few years ago. I think he's gotten overall better on
Yeah.
defense, and I think it's more like him being a little bit more in shape. And it's just defense is like so much of effort, especially like as a big guy, like you know, moving around in the paint and just being in position, not dropping too low in a pick and roll, so then they can
Yeah.
just get mid ranges on you and all that.
Yeah.
Like I think he's gotten obviously he crazy IQ, playmaking, everything wise, and I'm sure defensively he's very smart there too. So just like being able to use your knowledge to know where you can be to like slow somebody down, even if you're not gonna do a crazy LeBron block on them or Rudy like just wall on them, but
Yeah.
just being a presence in the paint and moving your feet enough and all that. I think he definitely is not the worst center at that anymore. And then obviously when you have an offensive peak as crazy as he has, like look you can look a little bit less on that.
Yeah.
And then obviously the other all-time ranking thing is like accolades and MVPs. He's drowning in MVPs. Might get
Bro.
four.
He might like I think he's going to be in the top three MV. Like literally, as I said, this generation pretty much like this post LeBron, KD, Steph has been Giannis and Jokic. Like they've just dominated that category and all. And I feel sad for Giannis because we're going to get to that point. But the Jokic thing is, I just feel all our greats have their flaws, and that's just going to be his flaw. He's never going to be this great thing and all. And people that want to point out, fine, point it out. But it doesn't change the fact that this is the best player in the world. And one of the things he's great at, this is one thing he's a culprit as. No one does it's a pick and roll, and they're about to dump the ball off to the other to the roller, and he does the kickball. He does the kickball more than any player. I don't I don't know if we can find the stats, but I think Jokic has probably done the kickball violation more than any player in NBA history
Yeah,
already. Like he does because again he knows that he can't catch up with that space, so he does the kick up and messes up people's offenses, and they have to do it again. And that goes to the IQ that you mentioned and stuff like that.
for sure. No,
Yeah,
that is a funny stat because I've seen him do that, and
he does that a
honestly,
lot.
it's not like a bad play at all because it's not really you don't get anything. You don't get a foul out of it or anything. They just
No,
have to
you have to
inbound
reset.
the ball and reset, and anything can happen. If you think that they were just gonna get that pass and you were gonna get beat, just kick the ball out and try
Exactly.
again.
The NBA is
It
going to
is what it
change that.
is.
The NBA is going to change that rule. One time, I think there's going to be a year where they do something about the kickball violation. I don't know what they can
Maybe
do, but I think there's something they're going to do because what he does is anytime there's any sort of advantage for you as an offensive team against them, and he's in that pick and roll, kickball, kickball, kickball every single time. Like that's just what he does every single time. So you have to also be a very smart passer to get it over him. So in MVP talk, obviously Shea, like this is a case of if you pick Shea, why would I complain? Like I don't think there's a black and white conversation to this MVP talk, right? But there's one guy that for some reason, this is 2 seasons in a row, and you just mentioned something about Jokic where we keep saying Jokic is having a better season than every season we keep. Another guy that's had back-to-back seasons of being better than he was the season before is Giannis. But for some reason, we completely it's like he's not even factored in our imagination in the MVP talk. And what is Giannis averaging this season? Let me go to
He's
it.
averaging 31 points per game, 12 rebounds, 6 assists on 60% from the field. Damn, 15% from three. That's pretty funny, and 58% from the free throw line.
His
But
mid
I
range,
mean,
his mid range numbers has gotten. If you've seen, they showed a video of him against the Heat, and someone was like, "Oh, bam, this isn't run and dunk man anymore," because Giannis shifted on the post and did that fadeaway, and he's hitting it. I think as of the last time I checked, he was hitting on like 48% clip, which was one of the, and he's shooting a good amount. And this is like the improvement in his game. Like he's swishing his mid ranges. Like this is something that is an important part. And he's one of the good indicators of the regular season is when you see how players implement these things within the season. And he's doing it in clutch games where he's implementing it and making it. So my question for you is just like where do we put just Giannis in this MVP talk? And is it just unlucky to just be in the era where Jokic is and stuff? Because the numbers are as ridiculous too, but it's still not as jaw dropping as Jokic and stuff.
yeah. I mean, I just want to point this out because I was just looking. Since what was the last game? Do you think that Giannis didn't have a double double? Because he's been on a double double streak. I'll tell you, he missed 4 games from December 28th to 21st to 28th. He missed 4 games. The last game where he didn't get a double double was on December 10th. But he still had 37 points in that game and 4 blocks. And then before that he had literally like 3 more double doubles. Yeah, the last game where he didn't have a double double at all or anything was December 3rd. And the game before that, he had 42, 12, and 11. So, anyway, yeah, Giannis has just like insane, obviously, statistics. His statistics are crazy. Uh, Unfortunately, like you said, like his assists are not as jaw dropping as a Jokic generally. Like Jokic averaging
But
10,
you know
him
what is
averaging
insane?
6.
This is his worst free throw season in his
Oh, really?
career. He's shooting
Dang.
he's shooting 58.4% from the free throw line. His lowest was 63%. This was in 2019, 2020. And and this goes back to what I said. All our greats just have their flaws. And now he's making mid ranges. So you think that would like translate to the line.
Hmm.
Well, I feel one of the things about like when you're exhausted and you're playing sports and stuff, right? I think for him who attacks the rim consistently, he doesn't have enough time to like breathe in and breathe out when he steps on the line. So it's a lot of energy like he expends attacking the rim consistently, never stops. And I think he's probably obviously he's a hard worker. He's worked on the technique. He's worked on everything. But when he's in game time and game day, it's just too much energy to spend that he gets to the I feel if the NBA remember when Russ would like walk towards the like almost like the half court line and get back to this thing and like take his breath and all and stuff like that. Like the NBA had to change that rule where you could not go back and everything. And Russ free throw also plummeted from like 80 something percent, like high 80s to 60 something, and it go bad at one point, right? So I think there's that part where he doesn't have enough time to like breathe in, breathe out because he attacks the rim a lot, and it's crazy. This is 58% is insane.
Yeah, that is very funny. I will say though, like whenever I think of Giannis, I just think of when his technique and like in the playoffs. I don't remember what team it was, but they were like counting him down because you only 10 seconds, and
That's
he's just
okay.
like breathe in, dribble like 3 times, hold it for like 4 seconds like this, and then
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
um, I just think it's very funny how he does it. But like to counter your point, another guy like that is Shea, obviously, who also shoots a ton of free throws. But I believe this season is one of his lower free throw
Really?
shooting seasons. I saw a stat about it earlier this year. I don't remember the exact numbers,
I didn't even
but
notice.
it
He's
wasn't as
shooting.
high as, or like his percent of points are
He's shooting
less.
90%.
19%.
No, 90
Oh
four
yeah,
percent
yeah, but he still hits those like so. Yeah, but he's fifth in free throws per game attempted, which is not bad. But no, yeah, Shea is also another guy. Obviously, how good OKC is as basically the best team in the league, 36-8, and it is basically it's not basically all him, but like you're without Chet, your second best player for most
Mm-hmm.
of the season now, and you're the only other player, Jalen Williams, averaging 21 points, but everybody else is averaging. Oh, I mean Isaiah Hardenstein, 11 points. Everyone else is averaging less than 10 points per game.
Yeah,
So it really is a lot of Shea's offense. And if you want to talk about drives per game, like Shea is up there with Giannis in terms of drives per
so
game,
again,
and he is just ridiculously efficient um, in the paint, right outside the paint, in the mid range area. Just the whole area is green in
bro.
2K. That whole section is just green because he shoots so well from there. And obviously his 3-point percentage is not like the greatest, but yeah, in terms of MVP, these guys are all just insane. Like top all of them are the top 3 in points per game and I mean, yeah, like
That's the thing. It's like that's why I brought up Giannis. Is like I feel bad. Like he's just. I know he's not even going to be like in even the conversations we talk about. His name is never mentioned. But again, this is someone that's having a better season that he had last year and
yeah,
stuff. And last year was better than the season before and stuff like that. And he plays defense and all, right? And
yeah,
all. He doesn't have the playmaking skills, but again, it's improved this season. So it's just like I think when people make this conversation and all, it's gonna really depend on where the standings end. But man, OKC has such a young team. Shea is such a superstar. The scoring production and the scoring like consistently, he's having one of the most efficient seasons from the mid range in NBA history. If he wins it, I have no crowds. But man, also the problem is you have a dude that is having that. You have a dude that every first quarter he has 8.7 rebounds, 7 assists, and the first quarter just ended. Like I don't know what you do with that, even as a voting block, right? Like
hmm
how can we deny this guy his fourth MVP?
yeah.
Like, like
And I think it's very funny because it's almost like we gave these guys their MVPs too early. Like Giannis got his 2 MVPs, and
yeah.
since then he's only been better. Jokic got his MVPs, and like they were deserved. There was the one where he was like a 6 seed and he had like the ridiculous numbers,
Mm-hmm.
but like Murray and MPJ were out the whole year, so we gave him the MVP for that.
Yeah.
But then like he has another season when like he had the season last year or the year before when Joel won it, when he was like, he, he's just improving. These guys are improving so much every season. I wonder if it's gonna happen with Shea as well. Like if we give Shea his MVP this year, he's gonna have like 3 or 4 more seasons that are way better than
Better.
this one. And every year we're gonna be like, how is this guy not gonna win it when his stats are so much better? It's like we already gave him, and I think it gets to a point where we need to see in the playoffs as well, like because Giannis got his two, but then they couldn't make it in the playoffs, and then they finally did, and now it feels like he should be able to get another one.
Yeah. So
Same with Jokic, like
the question is going to be if Shea wins this MVP and OKC doesn't go past the second round, he's not touching that again until he's not going
until
to
he wins again,
till
until
he
he wins.
wins. No,
Yeah,
till he actually they either have to go to a finals or something like that. Like it's just that's how they
yeah,
drive
no,
this conversation and everything. But it's going to be a hard conversation, and it's a case of where do we sit at the end of the season and all, and we're going to see what happens. So the NBA
one
All
more
Star. Sorry,
one
you have
more
something to
point
say?
to yeah,
Yeah.
one more point to add on to that is the conversation that people have brought up is there gonna when's the next American MVP?
Oh, bro.
Jokic, Shea, Canadian, Giannis, Luca, Wembanyama eventually. These guys are your top 5 guys, I think, in terms of like getting
MVP.
the MVP for the next couple of seasons. Like, is
Can I
Tatum gonna get it? I don't think
if your greatest hope is Tatum to win an MVP, sorry, bro. Just you might as well end that right now.
I think Edwards is a greater hope to
I
get an
think
MVP before
the
Tatum.
I think the sole sin of trading for Rudy Gobert has tanked his chance to ever win that thing. I
Really?
just feel right now they're just in a bind. It really depends on who they get after they let Randall go
Yeah,
because they can't keep
definitely.
Julius Randle. I don't expect them to keep Julius Randle, right? You really expect that, but again, we're going to see. We're going to see what happens with Ants because if Ants, if they're like but that's the thing. What has to happen to Jokic in this next 2 years
Yeah,
or 3 years?
exactly.
Like
Like,
someone like Ants, even though if he averages 30 points per game and all,
yeah,
maybe Minnesota has to be like the first seed and probably
no, definitely,
blow teams out to a wins. But Jokic is going to
definitely.
be averaging a triple double
Yeah,
almost every
like
season.
it's like that's what yeah, that's so funny because it's like the only way these guys can realistically get their MVPs is if these other guys just don't play. Like they get injured for most of the year, they get under the 65 game requirement to even get it. And even then, like you said, I think it's going to have to be for Ant like 35 points per game, probably like 7 rebounds, 7 8 assists, number one team in the West, 60 plus wins. It's gonna have to be a season like that, which
Luca, think about Luca is also there.
exactly.
And Luca, do you know what Luca's averages last year was? 32, 8, and 8. And he was third.
Yeah, like it's you have to put up video game numbers,
Like,
and yeah, it's really funny because like I said all that about Ant, but then the real top two guards in the West are Shea and Luca, who have I mean, Ant is a bit younger, but these guys have put up seasons and are putting up seasons that are incredible. And I don't have any reason to think that they're gonna slow down or get any worse or anything like that. Like, yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see when an American wins it again. Because,
yeah,
bro,
it's gonna be long. Because
Wembenyama. If you
Wemby,
want to talk about a guy, obviously way too early in terms of all-time ranking,
mm-hmm.
his ceiling is the highest ceiling we've seen since LeBron.
Facts.
And like he's already so
There's
good.
no
Like
ceiling.
even in a second
There's no
season, he's
ceiling.
already so good. And man,
There's
I
no.
wouldn't be surprised next year if he's in MVP conversations,
He's right now. He's like fifth or sixth,
which
and
is yeah,
The Spurs are not even going anywhere. And you know the NBA is gonna push that. The NBA is gonna push that.
oh yeah,
He's their next greatest star. So the NBA are gonna push
100%.
that and all. So it's just plethora of talent. This is why when people complain about like the ratings and everything, the NBA has always been a players league. It's never really been a team thing. While we've had rivalries, it's always been a player league. The players have driven the league. MJ, Magic, Bird, Kareem, LeBron, Kobe, uh,
Yep.
and Steph Curry, KD. It's always been driven by the player. And I'm looking at all these players we have. So when people make this complaint about the NBA now, are there some teams that are horrible? Yes. Is the similarities in terms of teams trying to um, make jump shots or 3 point shots and like pretty much copy each other, right? A copycat league. Is that annoying sometimes? Yes. But when we look at the players, Shea, mid-range guard. Giannis, no one has attacked the rim more than him since Shaq. Jokic, a point setter, pretty much the greatest playmaker center we've ever had. Luka, region of one of the greatest offensive weapon we've ever seen outside of Jokic, especially currently now. Who else? Wemby is going to be the great. Wemby is averaging 4 blocks in his NBA career.
Like
I found the stats today. I was listening to a podcast. I think he has 400 blocks in some 100 odd games or something like that. So and all these players are vastly different. None of
yeah,
these players, none of these players I've mentioned are even some 3 point guys.
yeah,
None of them. Okay, maybe Luca, but Luca is a 3 level scorer, like the playmaking, the flair, everything, right? And so I'm like, I don't know what people are trying to watch or what they're not watching, where you have so many stars that are incredible in their own right and they play vastly different.
yeah. No, definitely for sure. Like I think one thing you can kind of blame the NBA is like they haven't put enough emphasis on these new players and like advertising these new players, and I think they've started to do that. But like two of the downsides is like LeBron, KD, Steph, all these guys are still so good, and obviously they have like all the fans since they've been playing for so long and all that. Like you can't ignore them. You can't just move on to the new guys because you still got some of the like multiple top 15 players of all time still playing in your league. So you have to balance, you still got these guys, but you want to promote a Wembanyama, an Ant, a Luca,
Yeah.
whatever. And I think they have been getting better at that. Like for example, like Ant, I think has really become one of the more popular players in the league, and he's like backed it up in terms of his like NBA production because he's just got commercial, new shoe, whatnot. And the Timberwolves like had finally a great playoff run last year, so I think he's like one of the guys that the NBA wants to promote.
Yeah.
And obviously Wembanyama, they've put. I remember when he was drafted, and everyone was so pissed because they were spamming on Instagram like all the time. Wembanyama this, Wembanyama that. He's at the subway. Look, Wembanyama in New York on the subway. He's taller than everything. He has to bend down to get around the New York subway, and it was a bit annoying because they were posting all the time. But like yeah, it pays off because he's gonna be the face of the league in like three 2 3 years. Like if he isn't already, I mean he is not already, but like in 2 3 years he's gonna be top three in the
Hmm.
league and he's gonna be the face of the league. So, you know,
It's
they
a
they
it's
yeah.
it's a question of storytelling. You just have to tell stories of these players. You need to tell the stories of these players. Make sure that they're known. What makes them tick? What makes them different from each other? What makes them just things that make them cool to the fans. Like that's the biggest thing they need to do as the NBA. Just write stories on your players. Like make these players not just make them bigger than just the basketball player. Like you see the Wemby stuff where he was in New York playing chess with New Yorkers, random people in the rain and stuff, and the NBA followed it and covered it. But do this for Shea, do this for Ja, do this for Luca. Can Luca, to be honest, is that dude is just boring. To be fair, like
You gotta promote him streaming Overwatch. You gotta promote him
exactly, bro.
streaming
Like,
Marvel
yeah,
Rivals.
if
Like,
that's
why not?
exactly right,
That's
if
a
that
gaming. That's a huge
a huge
like
and
percent
that
of people.
again that is also a huge audience you can draw in, right?
Exactly,
And stuff like
exactly.
that. So it's like it's just about telling stories. The NBA just needs to do a better job telling stories of these incredible players that we had. They did a good job
Hmm.
with Giannis. Giannis' story is out there. Everyone knows that and all. But Shea is there. Jokic is there. Like we need to more of the horses, more of the fact that he likes to party, more of the fact that he finds basketball as just a job. Make those things within and stuff like that, and that's the job of the NBA and stuff like that. So yeah, I completely agree with you. We're going to see what they do, but I think they're probably getting it, especially with a lot of conversations that have been happening about is the league dying, blah 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 blah, and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think another big point is like how is the NBA covered
Yeah.
as like a league, and that goes into ESPN coverage and all that. All these analysts, Stephen A, all these type, because how sports were covered before the internet. It's like you had to go on TV, and these like sports writers and all these guys on TV are giving you the storylines and things you don't know. And now everybody knows everything online. Players tweet for themselves and whatnot. So like there's kind of a disconnect
Mm-hmm.
there, and I think just like the hot take culture and all that has really just ruined
Yep.
the way that the league is covered. And I think like not to toot our own horns, but like people like us, people on the internet, other podcasters, YouTubers, a lot of great writers out there on Twitter who aren't like trying to get engagement and saying all this dumb stuff just to get people to click on their stuff. Like people are covering the league well, but on TV we get these short segments between 8 7 minute commercial breaks, whatever. During halftime, we get 2 minutes, and they don't really talk about the intricacies of the game or
Yeah.
whatever. They talk, they just go back to dumb storylines like, oh, who best player, just like dumb stuff, the way that they cover it versus how
Yeah,
people online cover it. I just think like ESPN, all these guys have to catch up to how people are engaging in sports.
that's no, that's completely fact. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. Um, onto the All Star status. We got it announced. So for the West, we have Steph Curry, which I'm like, I don't know why Steph is here, but again, it's in Oakland. It's in
Fan voting,
Oakland.
and come on, it is in San Francisco. Like
Yeah,
he has to get in.
he's gonna get it. So fair enough. We have Shea, we have Jokic, we have Kevin Durant, we have LeBron James. For the West, sorry, for the East, we have Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Carl Anthony Towns, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jason Tatum. Is there anyone you think shouldn't be here?
No,
Anyone? You
not
think
really, like
everyone
at
should be
all.
here?
I think like because you gotta like it's fan voting. You know, at the end of the day, LeBron, KD, Steph, these guys are still gonna make it. Especially because Luca's not there. In terms of other guards in the West,
Luca is also a terrible All Star player. Like, yeah,
yeah,
he's so
he doesn't really care or try enough.
he's terrible.
Like,
Did you hear what Jokic said? Which was one of the funniest things. After the games of the Kings, he was like, "Oh, he was talking on the mic, right? And they're talking to him about the game and everything, and oh, that he's an All Star starter." And Jokic is like, "Oh, thank you, fans, for making me not being able to get rest." Him and Luca are the two culprits in terms of like being the worst All Star players in the history of the game.
yeah,
And I
no.
love both of them, but they're horrible.
Yeah, they don't really try. I mean, there was I think the game last year or the year before when like
Last year was
they
horrible.
were they were trying to do like alley oops with each other,
Yeah,
Luca
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Jokic, and there was that one like Luca half court shot. I remember him like standing with Trey, like they were both looking at it. Like there's
Yeah.
cool moments, but overall, yeah, the All Star game hasn't really been fun. Like I'm interested. They're changing the format this year. It's like a four team thing. It's not East or West. And I see people like complaining like, "Oh, we should just go back to original East and West." But at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter what we do because
Yeah.
nobody wants to get injured.
Yeah.
Nobody really just wants to try that hard. There's not enough
But this is the thing,
incentive.
right? You guys play semi hard in the summer. When we see your summer clips, you play hard. Do you want to get injured then? No. But why can't you guys just give us the only good thing about this format is the fact that they're doing the whole Rising Stars stuff. And imagine the Rising Stars have like a 10-point lead or 15-point lead.
Yeah,
And it's
like
about
they could win.
and they beat one of them. The next team that plays against them, they don't want to get embarrassed. They're going to
No,
play. So
definitely.
that's why I kind of like the idea of because the Rising Stars dudes are going to try their hardest. Like they're going to try to embarrass them.
Yeah.
And 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 is Wemby going to be in Rising Stars? I think it's 2 year. It's first year and second
I
year.
mean, yeah, if he's not selected for All Star, you know,
He,
because if he's selected for All
oh yeah,
Star,
if he's selected for All
then
Star, then
yeah,
no. Okay,
I would think he would be selected for All
All
Star.
Star. Okay, fair,
But
fair. Yeah.
no, yeah, that's I didn't think about that, but yeah, whoever nobody really wants to lose to the Rising Stars, you
Someone
know.
might play around and lose. And when the Rising Stars play against the final team that won against the
Yeah.
other, they are going to be like, okay, we don't want to lose here because these boys are going to want to make their names in front of like
Hmm.
people like Ricochet. Oh man, the rookie class sucks, man. I can't remember. I can't remember. Like these boys are what's his name in Phoenix?
Ryan Dunn.
Ryan Dunn. These boys are going to want to play. They're going to play. They're going to play harder than they ever play in their lives. And those young those superstars we have, they'll probably take them for a joke. That first 10-0 stretch or 10-0 lead that they go on, everyone is gonna like adjust, right?
Hmm.
Another opinion, and Stephen A. Smith, as much as we disagree with, as much as Stephen A. Smith is one of the culprits of what we're talking about with the media and everything. One of the things he suggested for the All Star break, and I completely agree. A lot of the NBA players now, just because of social media and everything, they don't want to get embarrassed. They don't want to look like fools. Do you remember the New York guy Sims?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
The
god,
dunk and the dunk contest, bro.
that's
It
what
sucks.
that's what I'm about to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about. I think you need to outsource the dunk contest.
Hmm.
Bring the best dunkers in America.
Yeah.
Bring the best
I've heard that
dunkers in
too.
America. Let them. So what you should do is a month before, a month before, a month before the NBA, maybe like early in the year or from December, have mini competitions all over the globe, all over this country, where there's like you get 5 finalists, and those 5 finalists, maybe you do West, you do East. I don't know how you structure it. Those 5 finalists come to the NBA All Star game because trust me, there are a lot of non-NBA basketball players, but there are a lot of incredible dunkers that are just regular people, like incredible dunkers. One of
Hmm.
our dunk champion was that dude from Philly that is in the
Mac
NBA,
McClung.
and he's insane,
Yeah, he has a crazy vertical, and he
crazy.
had that was that last year? I was that 2 years ago. I
two
think it
years
was
ago,
2 years ago, and that was like a highlight in the last 4 or 5 years in terms of dunk contest.
dunk
Like
contest.
he had really exciting stuff, and
Yeah,
I kind of agree with that idea. I've also heard the pushback is like, who cares? These aren't NBA players.
no, people will care.
But I mean, yeah, if it's like if they're good dunks, I would be down to watch that. That would be
Guys,
fun, you know.
remember when we watched the Zach Lavine, Aaron Gordon dunk contest? Like that shit was that dunk contest enveloped every single thing they did that All Star break, right?
Mhm.
I'm telling you, there are a lot of the push. I don't agree on that pushback. Like there are a lot of guys that are just much better dunkers than this NBA guy, and some of them maybe have been former college players, some are former high school players, and obviously they have some sort of ties to basketball, maybe playing recreationally and all. But man, outsource the dunk contest. Like there are a lot of guys that are going to do amazing in the dunk
Mhm.
contest, much better than what we've gotten, much better
Yeah.
than what we've gotten.
Yeah, no, it's definitely I think All-Star in general. And like this year they got a bunch of rookies or like they got Stefan Castle, Buzeles, and Andre Jackson Jr. have committed to the slam dunk contest, which is fun. A bunch of young players, why not? They have, something to show for, get their name out there, do
Mhm.
some I'm just excited to get like young players to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be
Andre
fun.
Andre
But
Jackson has incredible dunk on. That's my Milwaukee Buck guy. I heard Buzelis is also a great, like he wants to always dunk on people. So I'm excited. Like the young boys are going to take it serious. The
mhm,
older guys, the guys that have gotten their contracts, they're too fly. They're too all of a sudden they're too cool for us now.
yeah.
So it's I'm just remembering the Jalen Brown dunk last season.
Oh my God. That was have so many
The Jalen
screenshots.
Brown dunk was insanely. Oh my,
He was dunking over Kai Cenat while Kai Cenat was sitting
bro,
down.
like,
He's
come
like
on,
five
man. We
three.
should
I
wrap.
thought, yeah.
We should wrap this. This is what I'm saying. The dudes that you're going to bring that if you outsource the NBA dunk contest are going to be jumping over poles. They're going to be jumping over crazy things. They're going. This is their. You understand? Like we also live in an influencer lifestyle. Like we live in an influencer culture, right? Look at what's his name? Leto Shooter, the dude that
Oh yeah, yeah. Lethal shooter.
shoots ball,
I hope they
shoots,
get him in the All Star
right? Like
activities or something. He would be fun.
for example, the Steph Curry,
A
what's her name?
Sabrina.
Sabrina stuff. I don't
Yeah.
see any reason why you can't have Let Us Shooter do that competition with them too, right?
Yeah.
We live in an influencer life currently in socials and everything. You bring these dudes. These dudes know that, man, I might never be in the NBA, but this can be a way to get 4 million followers, 5 million followers, and stuff. And now these dunks that have been posted on social media that has never ever appeared or people have never come across it. I have the world stage to do that. And trust me, you probably have a good dude that is an incredible dunker that has 5K followers. The moment he does the NBA contest, and he may not even win, but he may have incredible dunks, and maybe he lost to the better person. His follower count is up now. Now he starts posting videos and stuff, and those ties are going to just be aligned to the NBA every time, and he may be invited for the next one. For the next one, it's almost like almost like reality TV shows where they invite people with multiple seats and stuff, and that is just the way it is. I feel we're going to have a great, like, you guys, you want to talk about like making the fans like inclined with the All-Star break again. Outsource the dunk contest. Just outsource it, bro. Like, just outsource it. I don't see any reason why they should. It's tired now keeping it the way it is.
No, definitely. Like these, like you said, some of these players just don't. They just don't got it like that in terms of entertaining dunks. Like that Jalen Brown one, like you mentioned, I completely forgot about that one, but it was so funny.
Bro, I
I
was like,
forgot.
to me, you know what? I was annoyed in the moment. I found now I'm laughing about it, but in the moment I was like, "There's no way." Did he sit Kai Cenat down on the chair? If I remember,
Yeah, Kai Cenat
yes.
was sitting down and he
This,
jumped over him.
this,
And it's
Kai
like
Cenat
people
is not
jumped over Shaq while he's standing up, and you're jumping over Kai Cenat, who's
Kai Cenat
already
is not
short.
taller than this. Like, what are we
He's
doing,
yeah.
man? Yeah. Question for you: who do you think must make the reserve? Someone that you have a possibility, someone you feel is not going to make it, but you feel like it would be an injustice if they don't make it.
Hmm. Okay, that's a very interesting question. Who has to make it? Um. Hmm. Uh. I feel like Wembenyama is kind of an easy out, but
Mhm.
I think he'll definitely make it. Who has to make it? One guy that I wish could make it, I don't think he would, is Norman Powell, just because he's been scoring so well this season, almost 24 points per game, but
Yeah,
his other stats aren't that much. Clippers are just kind of
he,
cool.
he's not some fancy face. He's
Yeah,
not some
definitely,
fancy face.
definitely.
I don't think Noah Powell is gonna make it. I don't think so.
Somebody that has to, we talked about last time, Mr. Cade Cunningham. I think they have to reward him
100%.
and the Pistons sixth in the East,
100%.
25, almost 9.5 assists. But then the East All Star guards all of a sudden is like kind of loaded because
He's loaded.
obviously Donovan, Jalen, but then the Bucks Dame is still there. Tyrese Halliburton is still
Mhm.
there, even though most of the season wasn't there. Cade,
Tyrese shouldn't make it.
um,
Tyrese shouldn't even be there 1 minute. He shouldn't.
uh,
If I see Tyrese Halliburton in the All Star game, I'm. Let me not even. Bro, there's no way this has not been an All Star season. I don't care about the
no,
numbers.
that's fair. That's fair. But definitely, I would say Cade has to make it. I'm just trying to look at these like lower seeded teams and think like, is there anybody that has really been playing
So,
crazy?
let me ask you. Let me just list the names of the possible guys that can make it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And tell me yay or nay. Even
Okay.
Mobley,
Yes.
okay.
I think
Siakam,
so. Uh, no, I don't think so. What are his numbers even? What are his
Jalen
numbers?
Brown.
27. Jalen Brown.
Hmm.
Man, these Celtics have really just been down lately.
I
Like everyone, Jalen Brown 23, 6 and 4.8. It feels weird for the Celtics not to have two All-Stars, so I'm going to say yes, but it's not like the most like he has to be in there.
yeah,
If he
yeah.
doesn't make it, I but like I don't know, like looking at these East teams, I'm like, man, eh, like it's not a good conference, bro. It really is kind of mid.
It's mid. It's not even
Like
kind
I'm
of.
looking like Hawks, Heat,
I think
Magic,
so.
Pacers. Are those teams getting an All-Star?
I don't think any Magic player is going to get an All Star, which is fair. They've been mostly injured.
Mm-hmm.
Dame is going to make it. Trey
Yeah.
should make it. I don't think Trey made it last year.
I think that's true. I don't think he made it
I
last year,
don't think he made it last year. And
but
again,
his
if you want,
shooting is so bad this season, bro.
should
40%
Lamelo
from the
make
field.
it?
He's been too injured, but LaMelo is another guy. LaMelo is a guy that I want one full healthy season from him and Brandon Miller and Mark Williams. Like those three, I can believe in them because LaMelo for 29 points per game. He's fourth in the league, 7.5 assists per game, first in 3-point attempts,
Mm-hmm.
shooting almost 13 a game. Brandon Miller was also shooting at an insane clip for most of the year. He was second behind LaMelo
Yeah.
with 11 threes attempted per game, and now he's out for, I'm pretty sure, the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he has to get surgery. But I believe like LaMelo and Brandon Miller should and will be all stars eventually. And I like LaMelo. He was right outside. I saw like the voting. It was Donovan, Jalen, and then LaMelo. Because
Yeah,
people like the kids love LaMelo, and it's not hard. Like the way he plays, he's just a very fun guy to watch. But just the Hornets are so bad, and he
so
has been
bad,
for a lot of the year.
so
So
bad.
I don't know if you can give it to him this year, unfortunately.
So for the East, Giannis, yay. Tatum, yay. Kat, yay. Bankero, nay. Right? We agree on that?
Yeah, he's been injured for too much of the season. Like he hasn't played enough,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't
We,
think to
we said
count.
Mobley, yay. Yes.
I think so, yeah, just because the Cavs,
Yeah.
like now that I think about it, like I thought it was kind of silly before to think that the top four Cavs player would make it, but
Mm-hmm.
like who else in the East is really gonna make it, bro? Like
Yes.
Darius Garland. Darius Garland is a guy that needs
I
to make
think
it.
he should make
Him
it.
and Cade. Okay, so if we do the rest of the reserves, Garland, Cade, we say Mobley,
Yes. Dame.
um, Dame. Dame would have to be a wild card spot, or because I'm thinking still positionless. I mean, it's positions like two guards,
It's
three
12, right?
forwards.
12,
Yeah,
right?
it's 12. Two guards, three forwards, and then two wild cards.
Okay.
So that would have to be Dame, Cade, and Garland. Um, and then Mobley. Who else? I guess maybe Jalen Brown. Nobody else is
I don't think
really.
Jalen Brown should make it.
But like, who else is making it? Magic aren't making it.
Tyler Hero.
Heat. Uh, maybe. Honestly, Heat. Tyler Hero, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, dang. Now that you think, you know what? Let's give it to Jared Allen as well.
Exactly, right? Like,
Like,
yeah. So
because the forwards are not really
it's
there,
gonna
bro.
be it's gonna be difficult thinking about that one. For the West, okay, we have Jokic, we have James, we have Durant, Wemby, yes, AD, yes.
Wemby, yeah. AD, yeah, definitely. I
Şengün,
think
I don't think Şengün is gonna make it.
Şengün
Nah,
2010. I think we got to give the Grizzlies player. I think Jaren Jackson
I
could
think Jaren
make it.
Jackson deserves it
Yeah, he's playing very well this season.
very well this
22,
season.
6 and 2, but he's had a lot of great games. 28, 29, 22, 33, 35, 28, 38. Like I saw an interview or I heard like Ja say something like Jaren is our best player or like he's our best player this season or something like that. Ja
He's been
said.
awesome. Like he's
Yes,
really,
he's
really
been
been
great.
good.
And I think Ja has missed too many games, and his stats aren't like crazy 21 and 7.7 assists, which is decent. Um, I also don't know if he's played enough. So I think Jaren deserves it. So what
Yeah.
we already got Wemby, AD, and Jaren. That's all our forwards in terms of guards. Ant. I
And
think Ant needs to
100%.
make it.
Kyrie, yes.
Kyrie, okay. What about I don't really
I
believe
don't
this
believe
Booker.
I don't think Booker's had an All-Star season.
Yeah, I don't know if the Suns deserve two All Stars.
Yeah.
22 and 21, 9 and ninth in the West.
I don't think
That's tough because he's still averaging 25, 6.6. That's not too bad.
De'Aaron Fox, nah.
He's been kind of
He's
mid
been
the last few games, bro.
yeah,
14, 17, 14, 12, 19, 20, and then
yeah,
he was out for a bit. I would say no for him.
yeah.
Um,
It's
who
going.
else? Another
We are
guard.
going to. I don't know when this is announced. I don't know when again the whole overall reserves and all are announced.
Is Jalen Green gonna make it?
Nah, I don't. I think it's too early.
Don't the Rockets deserve somebody as a second in the
Hmm?
West? You know,
You
because
have a point. Maybe they go
you know
Şengün. Maybe they go Şengün.
maybe they go Şengün. So then we're saying as our reserves we got AD, Wemby, Jaren, Ant. Who's the
Sabo.
fifth guard?
It's a bonus.
Sabonis. The
He's
Kings
had
are
a
all the way in
really
10.
good season.
21, 14.4. Damn, he gets a lot of rebounds. 6.4 assists. I think Sabonis could make it there.
Yeah.
Okay, but then we're going so many bigs. He would have to be a wild
Wild
card
card.
spot, and then we need two more. One has
And
to
to
be a
be fair,
guard.
the wild card, the problem of the wild card is I believe, I don't know, I'm not sure. I believe the NBA league office chooses that.
Uh,
I don't think it goes to the fan and everything.
isn't it like the coaches choose that?
Is it
No,
coaches?
the coaches choose the reserves, don't they?
Choose the reserves, but the wild card, I think it's different. I think it's the
Oh,
NBA who
really?
selects the wild card. And I'm sorry, the NBA may not select Sabonis for an All-Star game. That's what I just feel. That's why if LaMelo even gets to the point where he's a wild card, the NBA is selecting him 100%.
Mm. So are we saying who we think is going to make it, or are we choosing who should be our all-stars? Like if we chose
I'll
in
say
that
if
case.
you chose Sabonis, has to be.
Yeah, I think so. But then what other guard?
There's not
Honestly,
too many guys because Luka
how's
is injured.
Murray? No. Like honestly, I think Jalen Green.
Jalen Green might make it
Yeah, as a guard.
as a guard.
Yeah, I don't know. Kyrie 24.
Or Ja just
Kyrie-
gets in there because of his name.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can give Ja and Jaren. They are third in the West, but I don't think Ja's stats are big enough to get him and Jaren both together.
Facts.
Mm, Lakers, are we seeing Austin Reeves? Are we getting James Harden? James
Hell
Harden,
no.
21 and 8 on 39% from the field? Holy moly. Bro, he just shoots it. Second league in turnovers. He just shoots the ball, bro. He does not care.
Yeah, we're going to see, and it's going to be exciting to see what they select and everything. And the reason why it's going to be exciting is I have a mental exercise for us. Our next draft, which is going to be our first draft together, is going to be, I would say, the NBA All-Star Weekend is on the 15th. Wait 1 second. No. Oh yeah, so it's going to be the week of February 10th. So pretty much, yeah, week of February 10th, Sunday is the All-Star game. So pretty much, yeah. I don't know when we're going to record that episode, but we want to do something. I really believe we should do it the week before. So I'll say February 9th when we record, because at that time we already know the reserves and everything. So we are going to be drafting our All-Stars. But again, I was like, man, that's so easy, man. It's very easy to just have like the same status as our All-Stars, right? Like if both of us draft. So I said let's make it difficult, make it a mental exercise where we actually have to think, because again, that week is going to be light. We're not really going to have anything to do watching the NBA and stuff. So we are going to be drafting our best 5 in the scenario where our team is down 5 points in a game 7 with 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. And we're going to be drafting who among the All-Stars. This doesn't have to be among the All-Stars. My hope is for February 9th, we also have a guest. It's TBD to who that would be. It makes it more fun because we have 24 players to go around, right?
Definitely.
The way it works is going to be like a snake method. You choose, I choose. The guest is most likely going to have the first pick. So either one of us is going to have the second and third pick. And if I have the third pick, then I have the first pick for the next round and stuff.
Yeah, for
and it
sure.
goes that way. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun. So we have 15 picks out of 24. Once you select the player is out the books. I think it's just going to be fun mental exercise that who we select, who we think like, hey, 5. Maybe I even make it harder. 10 points down, 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
I think 10 points down, because the NBA 5 points is pretty easy. Like in this current, so let's do 10 points down, 3 minutes left, a game 7. Who among these All-Stars are we going to select as our starting 5? As much as you think, one of the things that's going to be hard is someone is going to take your player off the board. So you have to plan and strategize and stuff. I'm going to reach out to who I think our guest should be. I think I want to invite Daye, to be our guest. But it's TBD and we'll see, and I'll confirm that this week. So we also told the person, okay, that's just going to be an all draft episode. So it's going to be 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We're not going to talk too much. Any conversations that come up and stuff like that. But yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think?
I like that idea. I think to make it harder, we should limit each team only gets to pick two of the all-star starters. Because if we get to just pick all all-star starters, we all get to pick LeBron, KD, Curry, Jokic, all these guys. It's
Okay.
not that much fun. I think we should limit to two. And I think I like that scenario, but I think another fun one that we could do is like if we were facing off in a 7 game series. So then it's almost, I mean, it might be more difficult doing three people, but then we would like be drafting back and forth, and it would be almost like a chess match. Like I pick this guy, it's like, oh, then I got to pick this guy to defend him, or I got to pick this type of player or something like that. I think we'll see how it goes. Maybe if it goes by fast, we can do another one or
Yeah.
anything like that. I
I,
think
I, I really I
that'll
really
be
like
fun.
the idea you just brought up of loss limiting it to two all stars. Two
Yeah,
all stars,
the
right? So
two of
so
the starters.
two
Yeah,
of the
because
starters.
like then we can really dive into the reserves and whatnot. Like
Yes, it makes it
because
it makes it yeah.
I think it would be more fun because, like, the first 10 picks, like, we're just going to be choosing, like, the 10 starters pretty
The 10
much,
starters.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't really know why
Yeah.
we wouldn't.
So
So
that
I think
means
it'd be fun.
so there's 24 players technically. There's 15 picks. Oh, it makes sense. It works out. That means there's going to be four starters that are not going to be there.
Yeah, so we would be picking 15 players out of 20
20.
pretty much.
20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. I'm totally fine with that. That
I
makes
think
sense.
that would be fun.
That's fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I actually am going to have to like. I really, really take my time when thinking that and everything because we're gonna post this on social media and we're gonna see who people feel is the best team and all, and that will be very much fun. And throughout just our time doing our podcast and everything, we're going to be coming up with fun drafts that we want to do and stuff like that. And sometimes it may not be about basketball. Who knows? Sometimes it may not be about basketball. Just some
Yeah.
fun stuff that we draft and everything. But Elias, do you have any other thing to add? Like, honestly, I ain't even gonna lie. Yesterday was one of the worst slates in the world. I saw Trailblazers of Hornets. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
76ers versus Cavaliers. I was like, the Cavs are easily winning that, but the Sixers will go win that. Then I saw Grizzlies Pelicans. I'm like, nope, I don't want to do that. Like, so I just literally lay down and watch TV shows and stuff like that. Um,
Tomorrow is even better. We got one game. We got OKC versus Blazers.
yeah, I'm out.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm watching football tomorrow,
I'm out.
so
Yeah, yeah. Football is tomorrow. So,
yeah.
uh,
So
currently,
that's definitely
currently the Bucks are playing the Clippers, so that should be a good game. We are the Pushing the Paid podcast, and we thank everyone for listening. For those who listen, please like, please subscribe, please share. We're gonna be here every week, and this is back to back week. So when in our third week, this is gonna be our second episode, and next week gonna be a third episode. Then until we get to 50, we get to 100. You know how it goes. Elias, have anything to say to people?
no. I mean, let's just hope for a trade. I think next week we talked about this. I think next week we're gonna come in. We're gonna do some trying to find some creative trades for teams. There hasn't been that many rumors. I've heard some things about how like Jimmy Butler is kind of holding everybody up, which makes sense because his deal.
It's gonna
Hopefully,
be
it happens soon, but it's gonna have to be a multiple
like
team,
5-2.
3, 4 teams because of how much money it is. So I can't wait. Hopefully, we can break that down next week. Let's hope, pray to God, it happens in the next week because I'm sick of this. I'm sure Heat fans are sick of this at this point.
Fact.
I'm sure obviously Jimmy is sick of this. Let's
Fact.
get the trade going. Let's talk about that, and then afterwards we'll bring some trades to what else can go on in the league
Yeah.
because the trade deadline is already coming up on the 6th, and we'll be recording the next episode likely February 2nd next Sunday. So just right before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be lots of fun. I really hope some major news happens that we can break down and look at because once the Jimmy trade happens, I'm so excited to talk about that because I know it's going to be so many angles. Obviously, just because how many teams have to be in it. Like
Yeah.
you can look at just how all the reactions and all that, and then once that happens, I hope that's the floodgate and we can see a
I
bunch of other
also
teams.
I also hope we get the Levine trade. I think they need to free my boy. I feel the way people are speaking on Levine for years now has just been asinine. I think this is an awesome player. I think this is an awesome player. And I feel he's a clutch player too. He deserves to be on a situation where at least he can show his talent. This and that. So the Bulls, please trade him. Please trade him. Just yeah, get Zach Levine out of there.
I think Vooch, Nikola Vucevic to the Warriors. That's like the main rumor I've heard with Vucevic, because the Warriors need some size and need a traditional center and all that. I think that's more likely than Zach, just because Zach's again his contract is crazy. Zach to LA,
Nah,
Lakers again.
I don't know how. It depends on who
I
leaves.
don't know. I
I
don't know.
don't.
I'm
Yeah, but
just
just
talking.
teasing.
Lakers always want to be involved,
I want Zach on
but
Denver.
that would be too good. But you got to give up MPJ for that, bro.
Yes, which I
Yeah.
think I've thought about. Well, I think you can't give up MPJ right now.
He's been playing too well. His size is too
Yeah,
important
6'9",
for
6'10".
them
You need him.
because if
Okay,
you have they'll be too
we
small.
will talk about trades next episode.
Next week trade week,
Elias,
hopefully.
have a great weekend. To
Yes,
have a great end to your weekend. My weekend is I have a presentation on Monday, so looking forward to that.
wonderful.
Uh, and applying for jobs, trying to get jobs. Hey, someone hire me, please. But anyway, love, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Take
Peace.
care, everybody.